Shalom, Shalom Israel, Shalom to the 12 tribes of Yashala, giving of course all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, that's all praises to the Heavenly Father. In the name of His only begotten Son, Yahawashi, or who the world ignorant calls Jesus Christ, and He is the Savior of the nation of Israel. All right? So, I'm going to do a quick video, you know what I'm saying? I just stumbled across this, on the Snapchat, right? And, Snapchat actually does have some news when you go to the section to where, they have this news at, right? I kind of checked that out, trying to be, watchman and stuff like that, to things of that nature. And what I stumbled across is racism at Quebec hospital reported long before troubling death of Akametwa woman, right? And Salakia if I'm mispronouncing that, right? But basically, Quebec is located. Let's look up Quebec real quick. Quebec, right? Quebec is in Canada, all right? Quebec is in Canada. So you have Quebec. I believe this incident happened in Montreal, if I'm not mistaken, but we're going to read it, right? Quebec. So Quebec is a state, I believe, province, in fact. Province, one of the provinces, which is like a state in Canada, all right, in Canada. So, up in Canada, you have our people there. You have the so-called Native Americans in Canada, some of them from the tribe of Gad, right? From the tribe of Gad and whatnot. So you have our people there too. You have Jake there, and you also have Edomites there of the French and British descent, all right? Damn devils, all right? So you have a lot of our people there in Quebec, all right? So it says the racism problems at the Gillette Hospital did not start yesterday, right? And you can watch this video on your own, all right, because it's pretty disturbing. All right. Basically, she was Slucky. This woman was yelling out for help, and few moments before she died, and the nurses didn't help her, all right. And these nurses are, of course, they're Edomites, they're devils, all right. They're the French, so-called white people, all right. And you can read this on your own. I'm just read a little bit, right. And I got this from I believe, what is this? CBC News, all right, CBC News. And it says, I'm going to read this real quick. It says, we're in 2020. I think we need the government to step up on this, and we need them to work on a mitigation, right? So they need to work on mitigation and whatnot and racism, right? It says, I didn't feel safe and I felt awful for being treated that way. See that? So a lot of our people, they're catching hell in Canada also, all right? So a lot of you Jakes think that Canada is different. You think you might you might go to the north. You might think that Canada is a safe place. No, you're not safe. You're not safe in Canada. Canada is just as racist as America, all right? Canada is just as bad as America, man. But America, they show their racism. They show their hatred, all right? And I'm not too sure about if Canada does. Well, we're reading it right here, all right? We're reading it right here, all right? It says, I could have been in her place, all right? Let me try to find this. Okay, it says this, unfortunately, it says this shows that, unfortunately, there is still racism in Quebec, in particular against indigenous communities. There has always been racism in Quebec ever since the so-called white man stepped off the damn boats at the shores of Canada, all right, so-called Canada, all right, so-called North America. And they have shown nothing but racism towards the indigenous people, which are who? The Gadites. And this just goes back to the curses, man. You can watch this video on your own also, right? This is the husband and the kids of the mother that got killed, right?
Ma femme est rentrée à l'hôpital samedi pour un mal de ventre.
All right, so I want to get into the scriptures real quick. So I want to make this quick, I want to make this quick, but I'm going to go into the curses real quick, because this just goes back to the curses. This helps us to identify who the real people of the book are. Now, everybody is yelling out for help and not getting in. That happens to Jake every day. That happens to Northern Kingdom every day. we look, and we ask for help to these damn Edomites, but they don't help us. They're not going to help us. They're just going to help us do wickedness, help us to die, help us to kill our own brethren, right? That's what they're going to help us on. Let me get this in Lamentations. All right, Lamentations chapter 2, verse 16. All right, all thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly this is the day that we looked for. We have found it. We have seen it. See that? So all of our enemies, what? Oh, Salakia, that's not the one I want. Let me see. Right? A nation, right? Lamentations 4 and 17, it says, and as for us, our eyes has as yet failed for our vain hope. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. So our people, we watch, we look for we seek to these Edomites for help. Yet they're not going to help us, man. All right, they're not going to help us. Let's go to Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 31, verse 1, it says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay in horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, now they seek the Lord. So that's who we should be seeking first. Before we go to these Edomites, before we go to America, before we go to Canada, the Canadian government, before we go to the American government, before we go to the Democrats and the Republicans, we have to what? We have to trust in the Most High YAHAWAH and look unto the Holy One of Israel. All right? So that's, and the tragedies of our people, this happens all the time. All the time. Not every tragedy is documented. Not every tragedy is on YouTube. Not every tragedy makes the news. All right? That just makes the so-called white man look bad. All right? And so he is. But this is the Deuteronomy chapter 28. All right? Let's see what I want. Right? So basically, we'll be smitten before our enemies. That's what the Lord said also in Leviticus, the 26th chapter. Right? I'm going to just read this. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 45. Right? I'm going to start at 43. It says, the stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Because when you watch the video, basically the nurses, they were fed up with the Gadite woman. They were fed up with her. And so what they did, they just let her die, right? So you have the lowest women, you have the lowest men, which are the so-called white men and white women, the Edomites. You have the residue of the heathen. It's crazy, right? Because they're now, they're in a position to where they they can control your life. They can decide whether or not you will die or whether you will, right? They have that power now because the Lord put them in that position. Why? Because we're not listening to the commandments. We're not keeping the commandments. We're not regarding what the Most High says. So therefore, we're in these hellish conditions. We're in hell right now. Check out Isaiah 5:13 through 14, right? We're in hell right now. In this state we're in, this should not be happening. This condition that we're in, we should not be in this condition. But we're in this condition because we didn't listen to the commandments. I'm gonna read verse 15 and 45, and I'll close up, Lord willing, right? This is verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and the statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. All these curses, right? And dying in a hospital because the nurses didn't help you, that's a curse also. All right, that's a curse also. This is verse 48, not 48, 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed. And that woman, she was destroyed. Hey, her family's destroyed now, mentally, right? And they're mourning for her, right? We're destroyed as a nation. Yeah, Jake, damn, bug the hell out. Eve is cooning for the so-called white man, right? Our nation, is destroyed, but the Lord is slowly but surely rising it back up, all right? Through who, right? Or not through, but he's slowly rising it back up, right? He's rising up prophets and teachers. He's rising up servants, right? He's rising up the mighty princesses, mighty kings. All right. So he's slowly but surely rebuilding back the kingdom. All right. And Esau, you're gonna get that. You're gonna you're not gonna get the taste of the kingdom. You're gonna get your judgment. All right. Revelation 13:10, Isaiah 14:1-2, Jeremiah 30:16. So with that, I'd like to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahweh Shah. Like say Shalom.